that I'm going to try to pass on to you, if I can. And for me, to support Julian Assange is to protest the subversion of the laws that we've now got, and of which he is a victim, a very important, prominent victim. And those laws started in 1215 with Magna Carta, and they've been fought for and maintained until quite recently. I don't know when it started, this thing, but the last 20 years even, they've completely shredded the Magna Carta, and laws have been reframed to protect only the power mafia in the world and not people. So we're in a very, very dangerous situation, and it's very, very important that people protest it physically, and also all the opportunities that you get on the internet, on the social media, because what is happening with that is that there is a new consensus. For example, there is tremendous support for Bradley Manning, which you wouldn't know about if you just read the newspapers or watched TV. You wouldn't know about it. And that is really, really building so much on the internet. And Julian was talking to me about the importance of this and the importance of legitimizing it with proper representatives and things, so that you've actually got the true facts and true information. Now then, regarding dear Bradley Manning, poor little sod, he's fantastic, and everybody. But I thought it was really great what that Daniel Ellsberg said, who exposed the facts that led to the Pentagon Papers he exposed, and he exposed the facts that led to Nixon stepping down. And he said, Bradley will never regret it. And I think that's absolutely wonderful. But anyway, Julian Assange was telling me the importance legally of what's happening to Bradley at the moment. Now then, he has admitted something which we don't consider a crime, but which can be construed as a crime by the court that he's at, which will put him away for 20 years. We know that this is kind of on the, we know this is there. But what they want to do is to go far beyond that. Their case, they want to rest their case on the idea that if you tell a journalist, and that journalist, in this case this is WikiLeaks, if you tell any media person, and this information then goes to the public, then what you have done, you have informed the enemy, because the enemy is in amongst the public. In fact, what they're saying is the public is the enemy. And if they manage to prosecute that string of attack that leads to him being convicted of informing the enemy, what that will mean is that no media people, eventually, if you follow that to its logical conclusion, it means that the only news you'll ever get is from a government. And the government, as I've told you now, I just call them the power mafia. It's global. Anyway, so this is what's happened to our laws, and this is what we face. And this is why it is so important to physically get on the street and do something now, because if we all do nothing, then these things will happen. And just like it was in the Soviet Union, everybody knew at a certain point within the Soviet Union that their government was a total travesty and that there was no justice anywhere. They knew that, but it took a century, more or less, for that government to crumble. You know, I mean, we're stuck in this terrible world which has already begun. Anyway, so the more you protest now, the better off we'll be tomorrow or whenever. And we just need more and more people. And I think it's very important that the internet is becoming a big forum of opinion, which is an alternative forum to the main one. But I think we need people on the street to convince people of this other consensus. Anyway, and I just got to say one last thing about that, because I'm coming from Climate Revolution. This is my campaign. But it's so important to realise that everything is connected. Yes. And for example, the rotten financial system has caused the climate crisis. That is backed by the rotten political system and by the victims that are persecuted with human rights, anybody that gets in the way. And also culture, all kinds of things are really, really connected. So the point is, go on every possible demonstration you can go on, and then we'll build these demonstrations. If you fight for the bees, you're going to be fighting for Bradley Manning at the same time. So we have to save the world, and we have to save Bradley Manning. And I want to say one last thing, which is, I really do think that Obama is becoming what I would call quite a monster. He's trying to prove how tough he is. At the same time, he's got two parts of his brain, one which cares about his daughter, and the other that thinks it's a good idea to drone a 16-year-old kid, personally. Anyway, and so, I mean, we don't like him. And by the way, somebody said he speaks well, but he doesn't. He speaks like a robot, actually. Anyway, long live Bradley Manning in freedom. Thank you.
Thank you, Vivienne. We all come from somewhere, and it was great to have people from where Bradley